Hey guys, it's Pete from the Game on Australia team here, and welcome to this review of the Razer Ripsaw game capture card, thanks to our mates at PLE Computers and Razer. Now, a little while ago, I mentioned to the guys at PLE, who are a great tech sponsor of Game on Australia, that we want to do some streaming. We want to get into some streaming and have a bit of fun with it. You can see it on Twitch, you can see it on YouTube. It's probably one of the places where you're watching this right now, or the Game on Australia Facebook page as well. And they said, we've got just the thing for you, especially if you want to record some of your console work. And I was like, great, send it my way. So they sent me out this, the Razer Ripsaw. And that's why this is the game capture card review. Now, let's first of all talk about whether or not you actually need one. If you are using your PC and you're playing PC games, one PC, no, you don't. You don't need one. You don't need to go out and buy the hundreds of dollars worth of game capture card gear. It's just not worth it, especially if you're, running 1080s and stuff like that. You can just capture straight to your equipment. It's as simple as that. Really, when you need a game capture card is if you're doing such intensive high-end gaming that you've actually got a second PC or laptop for streaming. So then you plug your PC into one part of the game capture card and use it to play your games. So all of your CPU and GPU, all of the inner workings of the actual PC itself can be dedicated to playing the game. And then you plug the other part, the outputs and whatnot, to your streaming PC or laptop, and that can be dedicated to running all of your streams. If you're just using the one, you don't need one. Got the two, you need one. Or if you want to use a console, okay? So, as you can probably see on screen right now, I've got my NES Mini Classic plugged into this. It's in HD, and we're going to actually use this to test out the software and the hardware to see whether or not it's actually any good. Look, my initial thoughts about this are it's pretty good. Right now, I'm not actually looking at the screen, okay? And when I say the screen, I'm talking about my TV. The great thing about the Razer Ripsaw game capture card is you can plug your HDMI inputs and outputs and everything. All the ports are right there. Not to mention that it actually comes with a whole heap of really great cables straight out of the box. So if I'll just show you right now, that's the capture card there itself. Right. The other thing that I really love about it is if you look at the front there, it's got a nice, easy to see green LED. And also, these two little holes down here to my left, these are for audio and microphone mix-ins. So, say for example, you wanted to use a microphone not on your PC, you could actually plug your microphone straight into the game capture card. And if you had a really cool soundtrack on like an iPod or your phone or Spotify or something, you can actually plug that straight into the game capture card as well, and you can mix it all together. And I think that's really great because some people really like to, stream some cool music while they're actually streaming. The other things that you need to do with this is just install the Razer Synapse software. Alright, that'll have all your drivers and everything. Most of the late PCs, the software that comes out of Windows and all that, it's pretty much fully supportive anyway, but it's always handy just to do that straight off the bat, just to help you out. Let's get into loves, because there's so much to love about this piece of equipment. It's sleek, it's beautiful, it's everything you come to expect looks-wise from Razer, but that's not what we're really about here. We really want to know whether or not it works, and straight off the bat, I can say yes, it does. In fact, you're looking at an example of it right now. The thing that I do love in particular is it's USB 3.0. Now, in 2017, my personal opinion is everything should be USB 3.0. Don't know why we should have any old technology laying around anyway, but it's going to happen. That's just the truth of it. USB 3.0 means zero latency. I'm not even going to say just a little bit of latency. I'm going to say zero latency. That's what I love about this so much, and that's really what you want, especially if you're going to be streaming high-end, high-definition games, maybe off your PS4, your PS4 Pro, your Xbox One S. There's going to be 4K gaming over the next 12 to 18 months when the Xbox One X comes out, when PlayStation finally gets off their backsides and announces a PlayStation 5. So, you're going to want USB 3.0 because it's really going to handle the zero latency very well. The other thing is the 1080p 60 FPS one-to-one streaming. Oh, this is good, especially for us here in Australia. We're streaming competitively against the best in the world. High internet connections, all that sort of stuff from the US, the UK, Europe. This is a great device, 1080p, 60 frames per second, That's what we're looking at right now. Just to go back to the latency, this just popped into my head. This is probably the best example of it, right? I'm not actually going to play my NES Mini from the television, alright? I'm going to play my NES Mini from the XSplit software right in front of me. Now, if I didn't have zero latency with this device, I couldn't do that. Because what I'm seeing on the screen and what is being shown to me through XSplit just wouldn't match up one-to-one. So I'd be accounting for lag. That doesn't happen with this great piece of equipment from Razer, the Razer Ripsaw game capture card. The other thing is, straight out of the box, all of the component cables are really great. There is one thing though, right? And I suppose, you know, when it comes down to it, most people would probably be comparing this piece of equipment to the Elgato HD. And there is one place where the Elgato does have a tiny little win. It's not on the software side of things. Software, in my personal opinion, the Razer Ripsaw game capture card is actually better, right? The thing that sort of lets you down a little bit is in 2017, when so many people want to stream things like their Nintendo Entertainment System, their Super Nintendo, their N64, their PlayStation 1, it doesn't support it with the cabling. It's as simple as that. To actually be able to support it, you'd have to muck around with your consoles a little bit, and to be honest with you, I just can't be bothered. And I know there's a lot of streamers out there who also probably can't be bothered with mucking around with their consoles as well. Look, that aside, the original Xbox, the 360, the PS2, PS3, it works actually better for those consoles than any other piece of game capture card equipment that I've used. So on that front, well done, Razer Ripsaw. You've done a really good job. So look, if I was to give this a score out of 10, I'd probably give it around about an 8 or a 9. The only thing that really lets it down, as I mentioned just before, is the not having the equipment cables for things like the Nintendo Entertainment System, the SNES, the Nintendo 64. Especially when retro gaming is so big now. It's so big. These are the sort of things that should come straight out of the box. But you know what? In all honesty, if that's the only thing that you got to complain about, that is nothing. Look, if you want to pick one of these up, you can get one at PLE Computers. You can either go and see them, you know, whether you live in WA or Victoria. They've got shops there. Otherwise, they deliver all around Australia. They're really fast and really great. Their service is impeccable as well. And $239 will pick one of these up for you, which I think is a really good price for the piece of equipment that you're getting. Now, of course, the final thing that you actually probably want to see is how it holds up with some gameplay. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's exactly what we're going to be doing this with. The beautiful thing about this particular piece of equipment as well is it does come with its own software. So if you've never used things like OBS or XSplit before, your own software is going to be absolutely fine with it coming straight out of the box. And the Razer software is really easy to use. It's virtually plug and play. For people who have been streaming for a little while longer, let's be honest, you're probably using OBS or you're probably using XSplit. This is why I reckon that Razer probably hasn't pumped too much effort into game capture card software to compete against these. They probably know that the market is pretty much dominated by OBS and XSplit, and it's fine. That's fine. As long as they work on the hardware and the hardware's great, that's all that worries me. So let's do a little bit of retro gaming here. We probably need something that's going to be fast moving, a bit of pace to it, just so we can see that there's no screen tearing or anything like that. And like I mentioned before, the zero latency means that I'm actually going to be playing this looking at my PC screen right now. Okay? That, I think, is just fantastic. So we need a fast-paced, fast-moving game. Maybe something like Gradius. There's always something going on with Gradius. Always a fair bit going on. One player, of course. I love this game. This is one of my all-time favorites. Probably because it's a good memory for me between me and my dad, who bought me my first Nintendo Entertainment System, and this was the game that we always used to play, even though that I used to wreck him. But anyway, so as you can see, the game capture card is working just absolutely beautifully. As you know, like I would expect, it is 2017 after all, and we're playing a 16-bit system. So I'm not too worried about this. This is sort of something I'd come to expect anyway. But it's the mere fact that I'm playing this from a HD supported system. I'm getting 1-to-1 ratios right now. It's absolutely fantastic. And I'm playing this, like I said, with 0 latency, which is just such a beautiful thing to be able to do, because you can look straight at your screen. I mean, that's the other great thing. If you don't have, I don't know, a TV with HDMI inputs or outputs, or I would say a spare one. Damn it! Because most people actually, you know, let's be honest, we probably have one in their household now. A spare one, you can just play this and monitor this straight through the PC that you're using to record. So well done, Razer Ripsaw. I think you've got an absolute cracker of a product here. As I mentioned, you can get it from oh god, oh that was close. PLE Computers. See the guys, they are really fantastic. By the way, the latest episode of the podcast is out too, and it includes a chat about the Razer Ripsaw and game capture card technology with Anthony from PLE Computers. Let's see if I can keep going here until I die. Let's see. Oh, okay. Alright. I think that will have to do it, I reckon. Thanks for watching. Bye.